Okay, so things might be a little bit interesting. I initially had plans for letting the stream go wild for a moment, but apparently I'm going to be stepping up for a bit of a long situation. I'm also going to be bringing pizza to my brother. So I might be away from the keyboard for a little while. It's a very strange situation, I can tell you that, but I'll give you guys and gals a bit of a heads up once that comes around. But, hello everybody. We are finally talking about the ever so I can't say repugnant, but it's something that's been spouted about repeatedly. But when it comes from people that come from like a position of influence and try to write it off as like they're somewhat knowledgeable of the genre itself, it doesn't really rub people the right way. So let me put this into perspective, just to get an idea of, just to kind of brief people on what I'm actually referring to. So, I'm gonna run the whole entire video, but it's the last few minutes or so that become a point of contention to me and to everybody else that was rightfully peeved about the whole Mecha's dead discourse. Something that's been around for quite some time. Yeah, I'm gonna be hopping on Discord. So I'll just run the video first and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
You're a huge fan of retro games.
Oh yeah.
And I think
we
love
all
retro games.
grew up with
Yeah.
retro games.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I mean, could you tell us some of your favorite retro games? I'm interested.
my
Or is that
favorite
too
one,
hard?
The one I played most was Sailor Moon action game.
Really?
It's very, very Final Fight-ish. But
Is that the fighting game?
No, it's actually action game. So like it's exactly like Final Fight. You just keep walking and some.
Or like Double
Oh,
Dragon?
like Double
action.
Dragon. Yeah.
We call in Japanese a belt scroll action game.
Right.
Wow, that's a
Keep
The
going.
beat 'em ups?
Yeah, I think my cousin had like a
Oh, yeah?
collection because there was a number of them. Right? There was like
Yeah,
6 or
they're
7
about
of
beat 'em
them
ups
on
right
the
now.
Super
At
Famicom.
least 2 Super Famicom game for action games and 1 puzzle game, 1 RPG, 2 fighting games.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are a
Right,
lot
right.
of
Yeah,
titles.
Yeah, I saw you
yeah.
were
Sailor
streaming.
Moon.
I can't remember
Yeah.
which game. Was it Evangelion game you were streaming?
Oh yeah, ever. Like, I play the first
Oh,
PlayStation.
let me point another thing out. At least 2 or 3 people in this video are wearing Evangelion shirts, which makes it even more ironic.
Ever game for PlayStation.
Right,
It was
right.
simulation game. So
Marketing.
you think you choose a certain answer and that's gonna change the ending.
Yeah.
But actually, until the very end,
Nothing does.
it's always the same. Until the very end, the final question gonna let you choose 3 paths, like 3 endings.
Right,
But you have to
right,
keep nothing.
But
always
everything
the
else
same.
before
So it's
that makes
basically-
no sense.
It was basically just Mass Effect
I
then.
know.
Your choices mean nothing.
And you know what? You can't even skip any stories. You have to rewatch it again and again.
That is
Oh,
like
God.
Connor's worst nightmare.
That's my hell. I love the old Neo Geo games. Like Metal Slug is like my
Right.
favorite series. I fucking love Metal Slug.
I recently just did a video where I went and played a bunch of like Japan-only retro games, like anime retro
Yeah.
games. There was because there's like a number of like JoJo games as well, like
Yeah.
on Super Famicom and like
And Yu Yu
Akira
Hakusho game was
and the Yu Yu
very
Hakusho game. Dude, that Yu Yu Hakusho game
popular.
is so
Yeah, I know.
fun. And but I didn't realize that it's a really popular game in Japan, but
Oh,
no one in
right.
the West knows about it because they only localized it. Well, they only released it in Japan, and for some reason Brazil.
Oh,
but
okay.
only Brazil. Like the US didn't get it, Europe didn't get it, Australia didn't get it. It was only Brazil that got it.
But there are maybe a lot of like Japanese Brazilians at the time.
Oh yeah, there is I
Yeah.
found this out today actually.
Because the professional wrestler, like legendary professional wrestler Antonio Inoki.
Oh,
He was
yeah,
from
yeah, that makes
Brazil.
sense.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Brazil,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, apparently there is a huge population of Japanese in Brazil.
Hmm.
I can't remember the reason why, but
Well, anime is like pretty
Not
big in
the
Brazil,
legend.
so I've heard.
right.
I mean, way bigger than it was.
There's a reason why I'm running the 7.
But it just amazes me how many anime games there are.
There's a reason why.
That will just never get translated.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even some big ones still have not been translated.
Right, because
and
the Sailor Moon RPG one, they just got fan sub like a few years ago.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Yeah,
after
yeah.
all those years.
The original Fate Stay Night visual novel has still not been officially translated.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
believe
if
that.
anyone who's played the original Fate Stay Night visual novel, it's all fan translations right now.
Damn.
Whoa.
And
I had
Fate
no
fans
idea.
expect people to get people into it by reading the visual novel.
Yeah, because I know it was like really massive news. I think it was like 3 years ago when they decided to make an official like English translation of the Clannad visual novel, and they made like a Kickstarter for it and everything, and it got finished in like less than 24 hours, even
Yeah.
though it's such an old game. And it wasn't at that point I realized I'm like, oh shit, there's never been an official translation of this game. It's all fan subs, and in my head I'm just like, who is doing these fan subs? It's like who has
Right.
so much time that
like you
True.
can
and talent.
so many
Yeah.
things.
and
Yeah.
talent that you're like, you know what? There's this visual novel that's all dialogue, 200 plus hours long. It's probably like, if you put into a script, it's like, 300, 400 pages.
Yeah.
I'm a translator. It's like, how do you find
Let's
yourself
not ruin
in
the
that
surprise.
Weebs weaponized, man.
Weebs are so passionate.
They are. Man.
No, they are.
Like, was it Secret of Mana that never got an official?
Because the part that we're gonna talk about is coming up
It
soon.
was a huge series until very recently.
Yeah, until very recently.
Which is
yeah.
crazy to think a game series like Final Fantasy that was killing it in the West as well. Like one of them wasn't released.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
after
it's really
kind of laying down the
I have a lot
foundation,
of Macross fanatic
I am
friends
gonna
in
be
California.
stepping out for a bit.
But I think the only official one was Robotech, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You have to look for them.
here's the part. And first, right from the get-go, we hear the word Robotech. Denso? You know what this means.
Fuck Harmony Gold.
Exactly. Here we go.
Yeah.
Unofficially.
It's hard being a weeb, man. It's hard.
Especially a retro weeb, because now like Macross or Macross, sorry, is like it's not got as big of a fan base as it used to, because now Mecha has just kind of like almost died.
There we are. There we are.
In the Western fandom. It's only the very dedicated fans that still keep up with everything like
Right.
that.
And if there is mecha, then it's usually combined with some other genre that is more appealing, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's not usually like mecha is the main. It's like
Yeah.
here is the main, and we just add a little bit of mecha to it.
Right.
I think like the last big Mecha was probably Darling in the Franxx, and I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
right.
Franks was a freaking detriment.
A little bit of mecha
You're
to
right.
it.
I think like the last big Mecha was probably Darling in the Franxx.
Last big mecha was Darling in the Franks. Well, let's be real. The last original mecha is around that time was Franks. But Gundam was still pretty rockin' heavy with IBO and Thunderbolt, roughly around the same time. But when I say Franks to the detriment, I mean that it nearly turned people off on Mecha in a very polarizing way. There's a reason why this series has been reviled amongst everybody. But
sure
Let's continue.
people cared about Zero Two than they cared about the mechs.
No.
No one was like, "Oh, Darling in the Franxx. Those mechas are cool." It was more like Darling in the Franxx.
It was about
Damn,
the inside of the mecha.
Yeah, you were looking inside.
like-
Yeah, Frank started okay. That's why I gave it a chance. But the longer it went, the worse it got.
See, they're trying to throw a subtle jab at Mecha when they're saying that. But here's the thing:
Mm-hmm.
if the fans are more interested in 02 than the Mecha, then that means two things. One, Darling in the Franxx is more character driven, which is what's usually the case in Mecha anyway, you fucking morons. But also, if people are saying, I didn't think these mechas were cool, sounds like the show had shitty designs then. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn,
Right.
that booty thick.
Yeah.
That's all they cared about, right?
See, we missed out on so many good porn parodies, Japan, because your dumb laws of Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm surprised they haven't made a Darling in the Franxx porn yet. Or in fact,
What?
so many anime series or manga series that could easily make
Right.
a porn parody, and I know
True.
it will sell.
Right.
All right,
It's
well,
just-
American porn producers who listen to Trash Taste, please make it happen.
Don't listen to them. But, yeah, I'm gonna be making my leave pretty soon. I'm gonna leave everything to the helm with you, Denso, but I want to make like a parting jab before I go. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate first. I think they are on the right track when they say it is dead in the Western sense, that you're not gonna get a whole lot of original works that can make their way here. And the fact that hobby markets are still kind of niche when it comes to model kits, but it's still selling like hotcakes no matter where you go. That's why there's like such huge demand for them lately. That's why like Bandai actually made the conscious decision to have a premium version of their limited edition kits available in the US. So there are some other factors that can kind of contribute to that narrative, but the one thing that really rubs me the wrong way, and that's when Devil's Advocate kind of goes out the window, is not really realizing Japan didn't have to do much in their own base. They could just do the bare minimum, and people in Japan and people in like Southeast Asia or other Asian countries would be satisfied. And that's why Super Robot Wars, all three crossover games sold pretty well, with V actually getting a PlayStation Gold award. T selling like hotcakes. I think you have plenty more other shows that are running for a long period of time. You have Shin Kalyon that's going on still. You have the RX-78 being built for movement. It's a testament to a genre that's been around for years. And people need to really put a lot of respect on the mecha genre, but I think... I'm sorry, Necro.
Yo, Blue,
Yeah,
do me a favor before you leave.
yeah,
The link I sent you on DM, post it in the chat before you leave, please.
we'll do. Let me take care of that. I'm sorry, Necro, but you probably should have known this was coming. You should have known this was coming because of how it really resonated with me. But there is a very juicy bit that you might want to hone in on. Thanks to Mr. Ali Barter, a friend of Mecha indeed.
I want y'all to look at that. I want y'all to look at that link because honestly, more than anything else, I'm probably just gonna go on a bit of a rant. If I'm being honest, I'm mostly just gonna rant.
But yeah,
So,
I'll leave you to it, man.
all right. So, here's how I'm feeling about this whole situation. Now, I was introduced to Robotech / Macross, thanks to actually Robotech. So in that regard, I'm perfectly fine. I'm okay. All right, I'm okay-ish with Robotech. However, when it comes down to it, all right, when it comes down to it, it later came to my attention, right, and nobody told me. I found this out on my own. Went to an anime convention during my Navy days, and they had a game room, and they had an arcade. They had a couple of arcade games. They had a top-down shoot 'em up for Macross Plus, and I noticed that and they also had another one for Macross on the other side. I forgot which one it was. I think it was for Macross 2, but I don't remember. Either way, I noticed immediately how the mecha looked. You know, they were similar in shape to the F-14 Tomcat. They had the Gerwalk mode. They had the Batroid mode. All that good stuff. But I'm like, hey, why is this called Macross? I thought it was called Robotech. And someone told me, like, oh, nah, dude, this is the actual name. And then he told me, like, dude, did you realize what happens at the end of the first series? How everybody has different characters, the animation is different, the robots are different. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It was kind of weird. Did a bit of research and I found out, hey, this is actually a combination of 3 anime, and I thought that was retarded. So, or excuse me, wrong choice of poor choice of words, and I thought it was stupid. Now, so like I said, I'm thankful for Harmony Gold introducing me to Macross, but ultimately, what they did is fucked up. So at the end of the day, it's still fuck Harmony Gold. Now, let's get on topic of this stupid video. If you look at that link for that tweet that Blue Shift posted, it looks like there's some underhanded stuff at play here, where these guys are trying to say that. But I'm just gonna give it the same response I've given it before. People saying Mecha is dying is the same exact thing as people who prefer to watch MMA telling me that boxing is dying. Mecha is fine. Mecha is perfectly fine. Mecha is not dead. Mecha is not dying. If Mecha was dead, if Mecha were dying, I don't think we would be seeing a full-size Unicorn Gundam that transforms into NTD in Japan. We would not see a RX-78 Grandpa Gundam that is being built for actual movement in Japan. Right? There's a store in New Jersey that sells a crapload of Gunpla. If you guys like building models and you go to that spot, you would love it. I think it's called Gundam Planet. Go check them out. They have a bunch of models. You can go visit them if you live nearby. You can buy figures. You can buy stuff from them. Go give them a look. Now, Mecha's not going anywhere. I think it was pretty funny how the guy was mentioning how the other things are in focus, and I thought that was actually kind of hilarious. This is just proof that this person doesn't know what he's talking about, because again, Mecha is not just about freaking robots. Yeah, Gigak's an idiot. I don't care what anybody says. Gigak is funny, but when it comes to Mecha, he needs to shut his mouth. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He needs to stop that crap, because it's kind of annoying. Now, here's the thing. Mecha isn't dead. Mecha isn't dying. Mecha is a freaking niche. That's it. Mecha's a niche. That's okay. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing ever. It's fine if it had its glory days when everybody and their mom watched it. When everybody got wowed by Gundam Wing, only to watch it later when they're old and find out, maybe it wasn't that good. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Now, do I think Mecha could be bigger right now? Absolutely. And part of that is, again, because fuck Harmony Gold. During all this time, there was a lot of Macross to go around. And none of it made it stateside. Macross, in my opinion, is one of the big franchises for Mecha. You know, honestly speaking, in terms of Western appeal, because of course Mecha's anime is going to be bigger in Japan anyway. I feel Macross should have equal appeal in the West than Gundam if it was given the chance. Because it covers it is character driven. It does have, but interesting designs. It does have the love triangle angle that can be done too. But people need to realize just because Mecha right now isn't as great as it used to be, or as big as it used to be as mainstream, that's okay. It doesn't have to be mainstream. You know, something doesn't have to be mainstream to be successful. If you ask me, is it making sales? Yes. I mean, somebody look up how Gunpla is selling. You know, we're still getting Gunpla out here. Like I said, there's businesses here that sell that stuff. So it's like you can't say that. It's okay if it. See, look, here's the thing, right? When it comes to Mecha and it comes to the average anime fan, if the average anime fan tells me I don't like Mecha, then I would ask them, have you watched Mecha before? Which ones have you watched? And if you haven't, would you be willing to give it a shot? If a Mecha fan at least gives it a shot, if an anime fan gives Mecha at least an honest shot, that's enough for me. If you told me, you know what, I tried a real robot show, I tried a super robot show, it's not for me. Cool. Would I recommend some of the recent stuff? No. Would I recommend the oldest of things? No. I'll still recommend the usuals: Macross Plus, Gunbuster. Definitely would suggest Nadesco, because I feel like Nadesco it has that slice of life charm to interest people. But ultimately, people need to give it an honest shot. And I personally don't think it's a giving it an honest shot when the one and only fucking anime you've watched when it comes to Mecha is fucking Gurren Lagann. That's the part that usually pisses me off, because everybody who watches it, they appreciate its over the topness, and then they have the audacity to say that it's interesting because it's not focused on the robots. And the same thing happens with Code Geass, which, looking here, looks like, yeah, Green Boy just mentioned it too, where they'll be like, oh, it's character driven. Motherfucker, have you not watched a single fucking Gundam? Like, all you have to, you can tell it's character driven just off of the original, just off of 0079. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody here has watched 0079, and if you haven't, I'm going to give you a spoiler warning right now, so get the hell off if you haven't. But here's an example. You have a character, the main character, Amuro Ray, gets dragged into combat. He's not a freaking fighter. He's not a soldier. He's just a freaking civilian. And when people find out that he's decently good at piloting the fucking robot, everybody wants him to get into the damn robot constantly. No one gives a shit about how he feels. No one gives a shit about what he wants. It's the fucking robot, Amuro. So, what do you think is going to happen to a kid, that young, getting forced into combat repeatedly? Think for a second. Sorry about that. I had a cough. Now, what happened? He gets a free. Now, here's the thing, right? This kid is scarred. This guy, he breaks mentally. Is that not character driven? He even goes and runs away. And he goes off to the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and he meets one of his eventual opponents, Ramba Raw. Big fan favorite. And what happens? Ramba Raw, based character that he is, feeds him, introduces him to his wife. His wife is freaking cool too. And the guy looks like he's a father to his men. People respect him. And Amuro's like, yo, this guy's not an asshole. Up until this point, you look at Zeon and you're thinking these guys are fucking Nazis. That's what they're kind of based on when you look at some of the designs and what happened with Garen, etc., and the literal Nazi reference to Hitler. But this, Ramba humanizes Zeon. He's the one who really humanizes them. And the next thing you know, Amuro kills this guy. And the thing is, up until this point, most of the bad guys, most of the people, most of the Zeons getting killed, they're faceless. Ramba getting killed gives the faceless a name. He gives the faceless a face. That's character driven. If that's not character driven, I don't know what the hell is. You can see even more of this in my personal favorite anime from Gundam, which is actually on Gundam Info right now. War in the Pocket. The Federation's arguably the villain. When you really think about it, Chris is the bad guy, or bad girl, I guess you can say. Yeah, Chris is the bad guy. Because you find out that everything takes place in a colony that's supposed to be neutral, and yet the Federation is building a weapon of war, the Gundam Alex, a weapon specifically built for Amuro, and they're building a weapon under their nose. It blurs the line and makes it gray, and even then, there's a little bit of mecha fighting early on, and then afterwards, the majority of the anime is conversations between Al and his fellow students, Al and Chris, Al and Bernie and Chris, Al, Bernie, and the Cyclops Squadron, all that jazz. Like, there is so little mecha going on in War in the Pocket. It's actually pretty funny. When I think about it now, there's the initial battle in Antarctica. I think it was in Antarctica, right? At the Arctic base. Then there's the battle where the Alex first sorties and ends up fighting the Camphor, right? When the Camphor goes on that rampage. And then there is, well, no, I'm sorry. What happens in the Arctic base, whatever it was that happened when Bernie's Zaku gets damaged, and that wasn't even that big of a battle. And then you have the Camphor spree when the Alex brings it down, and then last but not least, you have Alex versus Bernie's repaired Zaku Tsukai. So there's actually not that much battling. There's not that much mecha going on. A lot of it's extremely character driven. So it's like people telling me that when I watched that video from Trash Taste, it was just hilarious when they're doing that stuff. And it's even more in Macross. It's the same in Nadesco. It's the same in Godanner. Even if Godanner isn't that great of an anime, I don't know if you guys have watched Godanner, but one of the characters literally spends his entire time in the entire freaking series recovering from his freaking injuries. You have Martian successor to Nadesco, which has an anime within the anime. It's almost Star Trek-ish. You have Vandred, which is another one that I would recommend. Vandred is also very character driven. It's literally men and women are literally from different planets. The main character has his mecha. The three girls, they have ships, and they're able to combine with the main character's suit to form a more powered up version of something, depending on what they're doing, depending on which one of the girls' suits they did, jets, whatever the hell they're called, combined with, But even then, it's still very character driven. Like, honestly, just to not make this too long, everybody on Trash Taste doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Any person, and I'm going to be blunt about this, any person who tells me that they only watched mecha anime X, Y, and Z because it doesn't focus on the robots, doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. None of them. Because because I mean, I can understand maybe a little bit with some old Super Robot shows, because old Super Robot shows did the whole Monster of the Week thing. But even those had a little bit of character development going on. Look at Voltron. Look at Voltron. It's funny because Voltron was different in the American and Japanese version. Did you know that in the American version of Voltron, the guy who wore black, I forgot his name. In the Japanese version, he gets killed, and his brother takes his place. His brother shows up later to get revenge or whatever it is. Right? The princess replaces him after that guy dies. But in the American version, he didn't get killed. He got hurt, quote unquote. And even though he's off screen for who knows how long, in the episode where his brother comes up to get revenge, actually him coming back from injury. You know, they changed a bunch of stuff, but it still allow for a bunch of things. See, Green Boar, I like you. See, because that's the same thing. I recommend people to watch 0080. I recommend War in the Pocket because, just like you mentioned, it's very short and it explains what Gundam is about. That war sucks. It gets out of a lot of the Gundam animes. This one is very short, but it gets the point across that war sucks. It gets it across very, very well. Poor old Al finds out the fucking hard way, and it's even better how the ending is. If you guys haven't watched War in the Pocket, please do, because I'm telling you, the way that the series is, it really gets the message across. And like I said, I'm positive none of these clucks have done that. Now, here's the thing too. Now, here's another reason why I'm gonna make another reason why Mecha isn't dead. Right. So, quick question, guys. YouTube. Is YouTube American? Let me know. I actually don't even know. Is YouTube American owned? Let me know, please. Please do. That's something I want. That's one thing I'm actually curious of. If I'm not mistaken, YouTube is an American company owned by Google or some shit, and Google's American. Well, Google's Skynet, but you know. So, to all my friends that like anime tell me that Mecha is dumb and they refuse to watch it. Your friends, you're not dumb, bro. They're dumb. So now YouTube is American, right? So let me ask you something. If Mecha was so dead, do you really think that Bandai Namco would post Gundam anime for free on YouTube and actually rotate it? In the lead up to Gundam NT dropping, they posted the first 20 minutes of Gundam NT on YouTube for you to watch. They have full series on their website for you to watch and enjoy. You won't even have to fucking go on bullshit like Crunchyroll with its 10,000 commercials every 5 seconds. See, let them know. It's only, 4 or 5 episodes. It's on fucking YouTube. Give it a shot. And even better, let them know that the English voice version has David Hayter, Solid Snake, doing Bernie's voice. And that it features a nice but strong female lead who kicks ass and pilots a kick-ass gun, a kick-ass mecha. Let them know, yeah. Yeah. You know, that's all you gotta do. There's plenty of mecha to watch. There's a mecha show for everybody. I will die on that hill. There is a mecha anime that everyone will like if they give it a shot. Guaranteed. Be it something brutal or something more playful or whatever the hell you're looking for. If you're looking for something serious, if you're looking for something on the silly side, it doesn't matter. I mean, come on. There's a goddamn mecha anime where the main character is the guy that pilots a fucking leg. That's okay, but it's still in America. You can still use a VPN and get around it if you really want to watch it. But the West, when people say, let's be real, bro. When people say the West, what are they talking about? They're talking about America. Nobody gives a shit about Britain. Sorry, Britain. Sorry, Britons. Hold that L. Fuck your teeth. But when people talk about the West, they're mostly talking about vertical. But even then, if you really wanted to watch it, you can just use a fucking VPN. Get over it. Now, point being, this is bullshit. I don't care what anybody says. This is fucking bullshit. Let's just be 100 about it. There's plenty of anime to watch that's come out within the recent years and that have done decently. Even if Darling in the Franxx ended poorly, up until that train wreck of an ending, the anime was doing fine. People got upset because of what happened with one of the characters. One of the lead females getting a little borderline abusive with the main character, you know. But otherwise, the show did fine. You know, if you have issues with the anime with what happened, that's fine. Controversy is good, but ultimately, the thing I'm trying to just say is, look at. There's a guy on Twitter who posted about that, and he said, I believe he mentioned it, that when you look at sales, Gunpla is still selling. It's still selling well. You know, the only way I think a series or a genre will be considered dead is if even the hardcore aren't touching it. Now, here's another reason why I want to say Mecha is not dying. Let's talk about games. One person would probably come up and tell me, "Yeah, but look at Armored Core," and I would agree. I would have to concede Armored Core because we haven't gotten an Armored Core in a very long time. The last two games of it were handled poorly in America, and they're too busy making money with Dark Souls, with the Soulsborne games. But even then, it doesn't matter. I can counter that easily. Armored Core, at the end of the day, is a niche within a niche. Okay? When I talked to Hidetaka Tenjin, he was surprised when I mentioned Armored Core. Okay? So he was surprised that an American even mentioned that genre. Hidetaka Tenjin is a mecha god, by the way. Now, look at Super Robot Wars. All right, look at Super Robot Wars. We had Super Robot Wars 1 and 2, original generation 1 and 2, excuse me, released on the Game Boy Advance way back when. From there, we then got Endless Frontier, which has a little bit of mecha in it. But then we look at Moon Dwellers and so on. You can't tell me Mecha's dead when Bandai Namco actually decides to listen to some of its fans and at least try to make some sort of translation. And even though the game didn't get an American release, they humored us, right? They humored us with the translation. Even I don't care if the translation was bad or not. That's besides the point. The fact of the matter is that they at least said, "Hey, look here, we're gonna make a translation. You know, there's a region free version." People bought it. We asked for Gundam Versus, and when Gundam Versus, as flawed as that game is, the game came out. We bought it. For example, I bought the Japanese version, and I also bought the American version as a show of support. And I know, and I'm positive, there are plenty more people out there that did the same thing. And then got Extreme versus Maxi Boost on. Well, for the best version of that game. Not only did it get released, but it also got a Western release. It is full on English, on time with the Japanese version, fully translated, properly translated. Same thing with Gundam Battle Operation 2. It took a bit of time, but it did get an official NA release, complete with complete translation. And the best part about it is servers are together, so everybody can play together. So if you were playing the Japanese version, you didn't lose any progress. So you can't tell me the mecha genre is dying when we're still getting video game releases. We have content that is readily available on YouTube. We have plenty of hardcore fans. And I'm going to be honest with you. The mecha fan base is the best fan base. See, the mecha fan base will joke around with each other. We'll talk trash about to each other about which robot is better, about which waifu is better, you know, supers versus reals, all that jazz. But every single time I see somebody who is interested in the mecha genre and is asking for suggestions, you usually see the same thing. They tell you, don't watch Gurren Lagann. They'll tell you, give this a go, give that a go. You'll see varied opinions on where to start with Gundam. You'll see people tell you, hey, you don't have to watch Gundam to enjoy mecha. You can watch X, Y, and Z. Give Macross a look. Fuck Harmony Gold. I'm usually seeing that when it comes to offering information and offering assistance and getting people into the genre, the mecha fandom is among the most welcoming. People fight about their favorite ships. People fight about their favorite whatever. But usually when it comes down to it and somebody goes, yeah, man, I love Alt Asen. Everybody in their mom goes, fuck yeah. People have their favorite waifus. People agree. You know, people start talking about the bright slap, and then you'll have me jumping and talking about, yeah, but Emma, you know, Emma be getting in on them slaps too. And then we're busy posting Zeta slap compilations. You know, like the fandom is fine, dude. I think this is bullshit, and I'm very worried about what that tweet was pointing on. That this is just people trying to get in and try to influence the mecha genre, and I hope that's not the case. I hope that doesn't come to pass because that would be a shame. Because the mecha genre deserves better than that. And it's like, one thing I thought that was kind of annoying in that video was how the guy was trying to say that, oh, this is mecha, but it's like everybody was more interested in this aspect of the show and not the mecha. It's the fucking point, you idiot. Like, are you even paying attention, bro? That's what it usually is, bro. You motherfuckers, man. Like I said, the only thing right now, in my opinion, that is hurting mecha are these fake ass anime fans trying to say it's dead. I'm talking to you, Gigax, you fucking bitch. Your fucking fake video was funny. But you talking about mecha being dead and all this other crap. You need to fucking shut the fuck up about that shit. But what's hurting the mecha genre is dipshits like Gigax and Harmony Gold. That's what's hurting mecha. Because here's one thing in my opinion that does that does hurt Mecha, or at least in my opinion. When it comes to Mecha, everyone knows Gundam. Okay, even you know casual fans know Gundam. Now, when you talk about shonen, you talk about shonen anime, what comes to mind? Bleach, Naruto. Let me see. Naruto Sand Ninjas, Bleach, Laundry Detergent, Dragon Ball Z, This and the North Star. Right? There's a lot of household names when it comes to the typical shonen. Right? Now, then even it's even the case with even sports anime. You can think of several, right? You have things like Slam Dunk. You have Captain Tsubasa, which is a very long running franchise. There's a lot of you can name a bunch of them. Now that's the main issue with Mecha, in my opinion. There's not enough household names. Gundam has a monopoly of the mental real estate for Mecha in the general eye. Yep, just like Lem said, that's the problem. Gundam has too much of a majority stake. I think that does hurt it, and that's another reason why I say again, fuck Harmony Gold, because, like I said before, I think personally, Macross should be in the same sentence as Gundam when it comes to big name mecha, and Harmony Gold has crippled that. Because a lot of people think that they had to watch Gundam in order to get into Mecha. And yes, you do. Eventually, you do have to watch fucking Gundam. Fuck you. It's a good fucking show. Fuck you. But I do think that is one that I'm gonna say that is one thing that does hurt the mecha genre. Also, Evangelion was overrated. Fuck you. Not Gundam. Evangelion. I mean, Evangelion not even all that good, in my opinion, anyway. But that's just me. But also, can somebody please explain to me why people keep thinking the Escaflowne is supposed to be like a knockoff of Evangelion? I'm not seeing it. Other than the fact that there's religious touches when it comes to the robots. Other than that, when I look at Escaflowne, if I'm not mistaken, that's an isekai. So it's like, what? I don't know. I think people need to calm the hell down when it comes to that shit. It's annoying. Was it Escaf? Oh no, no, no. My bad, my bad, my bad. Thank you for the correction. The correct, no, my bad, my bad. You're right, you're right, you're right. The one that is mainly compared to is Rasapon. Thank you. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. People keep comparing it to Rasapon for some reason. Oh man. I don't know. Do you think Evangelion is a good start to get into Mecha and to trick people into liking Mecha when they otherwise wouldn't have? No. I mean, actually, yes. If the person's an edgelord, yeah, definitely. If the person's an edgelord, if the person's an edgelord, sure. Honestly, no. Honestly, no. If I'm gonna recommend a super robot, I'm gonna recommend Gunbuster. If the person likes fan service and they like big titties, go watch Godanner. That's what I would recommend. But no, honestly, no, I wouldn't recommend Evangelion first. If I'm gonna recommend a super robot show for somebody, it's probably gonna be Gunbuster. I'm assuming he wants to watch Ava because either he's an edgelord or he's probably seen one too many Rei Ayanami dojins. Take your time, brother Blue. Take your time. Ain't no rush, bro. Now, let me think. I mean, this is a topic for for constant discussion. To be honest with you, but um, excuse me. I think not no, but the guy won't watch Mecha. No way is he gonna watch Gunbuster. I mean, what kind of anime does this person watch? Well, let's start there. What kind of anime does your friend watch? That would be my first thing. Once we know that, then we can go ahead and make suitable recommendations. Does he like comedy? Excuse me, running your nose today. Let's see. Here's okay. Hold on. Let's change your mentality. Okay. I don't think it's good to try to trick someone into liking anime. I think you need to give them an honest suggestion. And I think the best way to do it is by using something that includes a genre that they like. And I think that's the best way to go about it.
All right, I'm back. Ohio, what's
Okay.
up? I was kind of listening on the on my phone, so I'm sort of kind of caught up to speed, but
He likes anime with hip hop like Samurai Champloo and Tokyo Tribes. Okay, I have a suggestion for you then. Easy peasy. Go watch Basquash.
Oh, that's an interesting pick. Yeah, and it also makes sense too.
There you go. Go watch Bat Squash. I mean, Cowboy Bebop is technically Mecha now because it's in Super Robot Wars, but hey.
Yeah, I think when you have like when you have like something that makes it into Super Robot Wars, it's automatically recognized as mecha at that point, or as mecha elements to it. Even like some tokusatsu stuff classifies as mecha or has mecha elements into it. Perfect example is like Gunhead. That's one that no one will probably expect to make it into Super Robot Wars, but that makes its way there too.
Greenmore, the one I said to watch, it's called Basquatch. It's basketball, but with robots. One of the lead females is black. Cute, big titties. So there's that. Does your friend specifically like? Is your friend a big music fan? That's my next question. Is your friend a big music fan? All right, Macross 7 it is. Macross 7 is literally about a fucking rock band. So you can give Macross 7 a go if you want. Macross 7 isn't half bad.
The Music Mecha show, is that the Decadence, Lem? Because I've heard some things about it. Well, vaguely, but I haven't really been watching a whole lot of stuff in the current season. Oh, it's a different show. Huh.
But yeah, Blue. Basically, to get to what I was saying earlier, I don't think Mecha's dead, of course, but I do think that part of what's hurting Mecha is that Gundam's the only big mecha people know off the top of their heads.
Yeah.
If I told you to name me some shonen, you'd mention One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, and Dragon Ball Z immediately, right?
Right.
But you look at Mecha as far as in the West, and by West I mean Miracle. Then the only thing that's going to come up is Gundam, and because of fuck Harmony Gold, that would be two. You would have Gundam and Macross. I feel Macross should be on the same level.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as, but obviously, fuck Harmony Gold.
And the thing about that is, when you looking into like Japan, the big three when it comes to mecha is always Gundam, Mazinger, and Getter-Robo. Those were like the grandfathers of the genre, because they were the ones that had the most kind of a universal appeal. And if you go to like any other European country, you will see a lot of different. A lot of people interested in like Daitarn 3, a lot of people interested in like Grendizer, especially Italy. Italy loves Grendizer so much. But when you look at it in the Western sense, Mazinger and Getter-Robo are just absolutely niche. Like you will never hear it in the same sentence as Gundam unless if you talk to like a hardcore mecha fan. And that's the thing. Well, that's like you said.
Mazinger and Getter-Robo are both supers. And I feel like Getter-Robo should probably be a little bit bigger here, but...
It should. It even has an English dub, too. But, like you said, because Gundam has a whole lot of real estate in the West, it's practically just the only household name when it comes to mecha. And on top of that, there's not a lot of original works that really sparked a fire quite as polarizing as, say, like Gurren Lagann or Code Geass. Like, I feel like if you can really, if it was aired at at a perfect time, Cross Edge would have been much bigger. But I'm just gonna throw on my tinfoil hat here, going back on the whole Harmony Gold thing. I'm pretty sure the reason why there's not a lot of Western focus when it comes to Mecha is because of how Shoji Kawamori was burned. That's my theory. Because of how Shoji Kawamori was burned when it came to Macross, and how Harmony Gold just pretty much vamped the rights to some other shows like Southern Cross and Mospeda, it really got Japanese publishers and showrunners a little bit reluctant to kind of take a chance with America. So it made things a lot more complicated to kind of establish a connection without having any kind of interference, so to speak. Just let it be pure, and whatever kind of third-party localizer comes around that would gladly take it up and distribute it amongst like other medias, it would have been possible. But Harmony Gold just ruined the thing that could have jettisoned Mecha into roughly the same tier as Shonen in the West. Because that's the only glow in the dark shit that is really on my mind at that point.
I mean, my big concern is with the one going on with that tweet and seeing if this is actually some companies trying to fucking get in on it to try to manipulate stuff. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. But it's like one thing I was also mentioning before was that I feel that the mecha genre, or the mecha fandom, excuse me, is more welcoming to new potential fans in other genres, if you ask me.
Oh yeah. As long as you acknowledge that you're relatively green to the genre and try not to pretend that you know more than you don't, people won't call you out on it. Because there are even people within like certain facets of like the anime community that have covered Mecha, but really had like a very bad take. I'm pretty sure you remember Professor Otaku's G Gundam is racist take.
I'll give Professor Otaku a pass only because I think he's funny. Professor Otaku does have some controversial takes, but overall, I will allow him to say whatever the hell he wants on Mecha, because if you look at Professor Otaku's YouTube page, he actually covers a lot. He covers a lot of stuff about Mecha. He has a series where he literally calls it a retrospective on Mecha, where he talks about, it's a couple of videos, and I guess he was trying to monetize it or whatever through his Patreon or whatever the hell he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he's basically doing a series of videos where he's covering the entire timeline of Mecha anime, so he knows his shit. You know, I mean, if you look at his top 10 and top worst designs, etc., videos that he done, he straight up tells you that that's his personal opinion. He doesn't like transformables. He doesn't like the EXS, for example. So no bias from you. But
Right.
he does state it clearly where he has his biases. And that's okay. But as far as opinions, even if they're bad ones, I would sooner accept the opinions when it comes to the mecha genre from someone like Professor Otaku long before Gigax or anyone else from that trash taste podcast.
Mm-hmm. And
Because at least he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
yeah. And I could also raise you with Argon Bolt, who's done a lot of very in-depth analysis of mecha designs and various concepts of how certain things like architecture influence design, as well as his fixation on a lot of very more artistic perspectives when it comes to Mecha, as well as like his his Ace Combat series of videos were quite a delight to listen through too. So I guess we're kind of like sun and moon on that perspective because he's done a video on Professor Otaku's G Gundam video. So I could probably link you that one to see what he says there.
Oh, I don't think I've watched that video, so now I have to watch it. No, about that, now I have to watch it. But like I said, I'm okay with him doing that because when you really think about it, I mean, it was pretty. I mean, some of the Gundam designs were stereotypical. I mean, mind you, the one for Maxter was hilarious, but you can't really say I can't really say the same for the other ones. Like the Tequila Gundam, you know, just on the name alone, and then you have the fucking the cactus thing, the fucking sombrero is just like, oh god. But I mean, but Maxter was actually a perfectly fine design. The beam magnums, fuck you, Bonninger. We had it first.
Yep.
But then you have, you know, the football pad shoulders that turned into even bigger boxing gloves. You know, the football visor thing for the fucking for the head. And then the shield that can be used as a surfboard, which was clearly an inspiration for freaking Virtual On. But you know, I can see it. I can see it.
But yeah, I think we've said all we need to be said about this video in particular. I can't wait to see what Necro13 has to say about this topic in particular.
My thing is this: for the Mecha fans, don't panic.
I don't think there was ever a reason to panic anyway. It's just like every day to them.
My thing is this: for people out there that don't like Mecha, if you've given it a genuine attempt, and by genuine attempt, I mean you took a series, you watched it from start to finish. I'm not buying it when you tell me I watched one episode and I couldn't carry on anymore. I'm not buying that. Sit down, shut up, watch a series. Pick a short one. It'll make it easier for you. Again, go watch War in the Pocket. It's on Gundam Info. But if you've watched a genuine full series, right? It doesn't bother me if it's Real Robot or Super. Pick one. It's fine. But as long as you pick a series and you give it an honest chance, and you say, you know what, it's not for me, I'm okay with it. But don't go telling me, like I said before, you telling me this one's focuses on the characters, not the robots. That tells me you didn't watch. You don't watch. That means you don't watch. That tells me you don't watch Mecha. The majority of Mecha is character driven. Always has been.
Always will be.
You know, the majority of them will be character driven. That's just a fact. Okay, doesn't matter what anybody says. It can be Gundam. It can be Robotech. Excuse me, Macross. Let me correct myself there. It can be Macross. It can be Gundam. Hell, even Mazinger. All that good stuff.
Yep, you could.
So it's like, don't come at us with that stuff.
Yeah.
Give it an honest go, and if it's not meant to be, it's okay. As long as you give it an honest chance, that's okay.
Yep.
But unless you're getting an opinion, the only person who I can tell you, who I believe is not a big Mecha fan, who gave Mecha anime a fair shake, is, I believe, this guy's YouTube name is Glass Reflection. He suggested watching Gundam 00, and he gave a perfectly... Actually, yo, if you look that up right now, Blue, if you put it up on YouTube, you'll see exactly why I would suggest it, just because of what he says at the beginning of the video. Put it on if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Green.
Wait, Mecha's character driven? Always has been. Exactly.
Boy, here we go. I'm talking about Gundam again. Way back last year, I released a video giving you, gentle viewers, a brief primer on the existence of
Your
the Gundam
video's skipping.
franchise and where I thought
Your stream is skipping from you, my friend.
I don't see any drop frames on my end.
was a good place for you to
Might
start.
be me,
Feel
then.
free to click over to that video if you haven't seen it yet, because I'm going to try to avoid repeating myself. But the main purpose of the recommendations I made there was for someone who had heard of Gundam before and wanted to figure out the best place to jump in to get what fans might call the true Gundam experience. So of course I recommended starting with the Gundam film trilogy, the one that starts off the UC, or Universal Century timeline. But Universal Century is two major things. Really good, but really long. Trying to experience all UC has to offer is a lot of content to commit yourself to, and if you aren't that sold on Gundam just yet, it might be a bit too much. Though, despite what hardcore fans might have you believe, Gundam is not just the UC timeline. There are plenty of one-off universes where hotshot pilots strap into a Gundam to fight off some semblance of an impending conflict, scream at the top of their lungs about the defeat of their enemies, or telling Relena Peacecraft you're going to kill her.
I'll kill you.
Oh, it's actually skipping.
That Gundam Wing clip never gets old. But
Let
the
me
great
load
thing
the-
about these one-shot universes is how accessible their separation from the greater Gundam universe makes them. You don't need to have seen hours upon
No
hours
problem,
of old
Green.
Gundam from the 70s and the 80s
Yeah,
to
load the
appreciate
quality.
them, and in many ways, it's why I sometimes prefer them. So, ladies, gentlemen, and others, my name is Arcada, and today on Glass Reflection, I wanted to take one of these one-shot Gundam universes for a spin to quickly discuss another side of the Gundam franchise. And I figured, what better series to focus on than the very first Gundam I ever watched, Gundam 00.
Which is funny because I also started with 002. Oh, I'm not skipping. Punctuation. It does wonders.
First, a summary, not of the show, but of Gundam's place in the universe. The year is 2007. Following the massive success of Gundam Wing back in 1995, Gundam as a franchise hit a couple of interesting snags in its ever-growing conquest to rule the world, or at least the mecha genre. After War, Gundam X had its original episode length cut down due to a diminishing audience.
It's a damn shame. It's really a damn shame. And I think I remember seeing that one meme. I think Swaggy made it. It's just a time traveler
Yeah.
with the girlfriend and the girl and the guy going back in time. It's just Buff Arnold telling Sunrise, "Don't air Gundam X after Wing."
I think my first Gundam was probably Wing. I'm gonna say it was Wing,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean it wasn't my first mecha for sure. But
Yeah.
my first Gundam was definitely Wing, and then from there, that's when I saw War in the Pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started with the Wing and G Gundam since that was like the two things I'd only see like aftercare, but after a while I started seeing a lot more like Zoids and a few other mecha series that were there. Megas is definitely a shoe-in because that's like peak Western mecha next to Perfect Pacific Rim.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to just show you the beginning of that video because that video right there, it shows you that this guy actually, you know, came at it with a good opinion and
Mhm.
with the intent to actually tell someone, hey, are you looking to get into mecha? Try this. So something like this, even though I don't think Glass Reflection, I'm about to say White Reflection, even though I don't think Glass Reflection is a dedicated mecha fan, you can tell that what he's giving is an educated opinion.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, That right there, that's a good way to making a recommendation if you're not really a Mecha fan. This is, or even if you are a Mecha fan, this is how I think you should go about it. If you don't want to recommend them to do this, that, or the other, then you should go the other route. But it's like, it's just obnoxious.
Yeah, it's
I
tiresome.
I wouldn't worry about I wouldn't worry about the dumbasses, but the ones that do have influence, it is a concern
Yep.
because I don't want the wrong companies to get their hands on Mecha and then try to fucking influence it. The
Mhm.
last thing I need is to have an English dub of a Mecha anime show up, and it's got to be filled with Orange Man bad. It's got to be filled with Orange Man bad or some other sort of political bullshit.
Yeah. Just let it be what it is. I mean, if anything, Mecha has always had some sort of political connotations when it came to like
Well,
commentary.
hold on. I'm sorry. I mean political commentary as for what's originally intended.
Yeah.
Not
Not
let me
like
fucking change it to suit. Let me change it to suit what the fuck I want. Like, come on.
yeah,
Bro.
it's not agenda driven or anything more contemporary to just try to drive a wedge in someone just to spite someone else.
Yeah, I think if you want an opinion from when it comes to Mecha, I think you should honestly just look at um. I think you should honestly just look at opinions from actual Mecha fans,
Hmm.
but people that are being objective about it. There's a guy who made a video about it. He's doing like it shows playback for Gundam G Generation Cross Rays while he's talking about it. But he made videos about why he enjoys Gundam X and why it's his favorite. He talks about where um he talks about where Gundam Seed screws up, etc., etc. But he goes into the details. And I don't know. I guess maybe we can bait people by telling them, "Hey, did you like Cowboy Bebop? You like Mecha? Cowboy Bebop's Mecha. Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It's Super Robot Wars. You're a
Yep.
Mecha fan.
By proxy. It's a one drop rule. It's pretty much a one drop rule. If it has any kind of robot, any kind of armored suit, any kind of biomechanical influence, it's a mecha. Simple as that.
I'm actually gonna tweet that right now.
What was it? Something I said to them?
No. The thing I mentioned. Did you like Cowboy Bebop? Well, you're a Mecha fan. Welcome to the fold.
I think I said. I think it was something amongst the lines of me saying that it's a one drop rule. It's just.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. There's a whole, and when you think about it too, Mecha's been around for so long that even like the people that have worked in mecha anime in general are still working on anime to this day, and they still have their influence in it. That's how powerful it is.
Mm-hmm.
Obari is still in the business, and he's still creating designs, just like he did in like the 80s and the 90s. It's everywhere.
The Obari pose.
It's actually called like the sunrise stance, but it's always going to be called the Obari. It's always going to be called the Obari pose, no matter what, because it's there. He pretty much pioneered it, and there's no escaping it.
No escape.
No escape.
Yeah, the Obari pose is the sword one.
Yeah, it is. But
Obari makes everything better. I remember somebody showed a picture of some like robot design that was like mad blocky,
mhm.
and they showed, oh look, this is the original design, and then it was like, now this is the original design, this is your design. This is your design on Obari.
Yep. Yeah,
And then it's like Obari literally took the fucking robot and just added like he just fucking said, you know what, I'm gonna make this robot look cool, and fuck he did. From what if I'm not mistaken, what ended up happening was that when Gridman they used the Obari pose, but it's like something happened, but if I'm not mistaken, ultimately it was a misunderstanding. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
think it was.
misunderstanding, and the people who were working on Gridman said that it wasn't supposed to be that it was intended
An homage
as a
rather than
nod,
plagiarism.
as a yeah. Basically, they it was cleared up. It was cleared up.
Yeah, it was,
It was mentioned that they weren't trying to like knock on him or anything like that. It's just that you know what, like they have a lot of respect for him. So okay, cool.
yeah, just let it rock. And I think it was
Yeah.
practically like an homage to the drive wheel sword scene from Might Gain. That's the exact one that was made as a tribute. But
I don't know, man.
but then again, Gridman had a lot of various homages. Even like the character designs had like homage colors to to certain Transformers. So it's interesting things like that because they were a bunch of mecha nerds too. So it's pretty cool to see. And even Obari even made his way into like Super Robot Wars. Obari himself, though, like in Obari actually was in Super Robot Wars, just as an homage. Well, not really an homage, but he actually made a cameo appearance when the
ex-Gynex employees are mecha nerds. Really? Who would have thought?
Yeah. I mean, Gynex was pretty much started as the Ota King, the Ota King's lair, which I also need to finish that anime too. Damn, I forgot the actual name of it, but I think it is just called Ota King. Blue Blazes. I'll give it a shot. I'm currently watching Razafon at the moment, but I also finished Terrestrial Defense Force Die Guard. That show was fun. I can tell you that. I could definitely recommend it to people that are new to the genre as well. It's basically salarymen operating giant robots. You just see how they develop after like a certain point in time, just going up against practical forces of nature. I can tell you for a fact that you'll have great enjoyment of watching Die Guard. And yeah, I'm shilling it. You can find the whole entire series on YouTube, subbed, and even dubbed because I think it was a part of Funimation too. But yeah, you can find the entirety of Die Guard there. And if it does get taken down, I take personal responsibility. But I think it's been around since like 2 years or maybe 5 years. I have to look back, but no, I think it was around 2017. So it's been around for a while. So it's safe. Because trust me, when you try to look on those other anime streaming sites, you're probably not gonna find it. And I'm talking about like the free anime sites, and it's probably well as like Crunchyroll or Funimation. You could definitely find it there. But considering that they shaved their library, you might not be able to find too much. Which is why you should always sail the seven seas.
Oh man!
Just go with Taiga. Stop making no. Lem, you're a kidster. You know that? Attack on Titan. But yeah, I think we said quite a bit, right? Think we've covered quite enough?
Wait, say that again?
You think we covered quite enough for this topic?
I think we're good to go with this, honestly. I mean, unless anybody else has something in particular that they wanted to say, I pretty much said my piece on this. I just think it's people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to a topic like Mecha shouldn't fucking talk about it. That's literally it. Like the guys from Trash Taste really
do have trash taste.
So
I mean,
as far as that, like I said, Giga, because I find your content funny, but Mecha's not dead, nor is it dying. Shut the fuck up.
and it will never die too because it
It
practically has the life.
ain't going
It's
nowhere.
no, it has the fountain of youth. It just doesn't need to try too much compared to every other genre. All it needs to do is just do the bare minimum, and that's it. Japan's happy. Even if the show kind of underperformed, like Granbelm, which is a sad thing because it was one of the few animes that was actually straight up 2D hand drawn. The mecha designs were pretty good. It's super deformed, but it's taken in a way where it's actually pretty appeasing to the eyes. There's even a new series of Mashin Hiro Wataru after so many years of running. So you can check that out on their Bandai Spirits, which also has English subs too.
Yeah.
Hey! But yeah, there's no reason to be concerned about everybody else saying Mecha is dying because it's not going anywhere. It's not going to try too much either. There might be some more of a concerted effort to make it more recognized in the West, which I think there was an article that was shared around by D12 about people, I think Sunrise wanting to make Gundam a little bit more well known, a bit more focused in like China and North America. I might have to look back at that article to see the exact details, but all in all, the foundation's already there. So they're gonna have an easy time just laying down the concrete and everything else. Yeah, we're getting a Gundam movie in the US, Hathaway's Flash, which is, I think it was delayed, but I think it's also should be coming out relatively soon.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go watch it when it comes out.
Oh, the legendary movie. I might have a bad feeling about that. It might end up like it might even end up worse than G Savior. That's what I feel because we haven't heard much of it. Aren't they building the Freedom? Yes, they're building the Freedom Gum in Shanghai. They're actually building the Freedom Gum in Shanghai. Don't know when they're going to start building it, but it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to stand, first of all. But through and through, it's
Freedom, China, pick one.
that's his biggest sense of irony also, too. You probably think like, I don't know, maybe Kowloon Gundam, or maybe or you know what? Here's another thing that I also want to kind of throw in before I end the stream. And it's mostly kind of relating to Super Robot Wars too. People need to realize that we're probably not going to have an OG game until like the 30th and the next anniversary. So anything at this point, any announcement before the anniversary is most likely going to be Double D or Cross Omega. So people need to really chill and just temper their expectations and not step their foot on the rake.
Hey, Green Boy, you ever watch Gal Gaigar? Quick question. You ever watch Gal Gaigar? Damn it, Denso. I was about to make that. No, you're just too slow.
Yeah, if a company does build GPO, so I think there is actual cause to worry. There is actual cause to worry.
No, they're not gonna make. They're not gonna make a Lagao in the Middle East. They're gonna make an Exia.
Oh yeah, because
I mean, because
Cessna-
Cessna looks like Cessna looks like he's Middle Eastern.
Cessna is Middle
they
Eastern.
make, or they make an arch because of Ali Al Sanchez.
Yes, Cessna is Middle Eastern. He just has a Japanese name to kind of cover him. It's a misnomer. It's just like Full Metal Panic with Sosuke's name actually being Soran Ibrahim. Also Middle Eastern. But I think I forgot the antagonist's name. Damn, it's been a while since I last watched Full Metal Panic. But he's definitely the antagonist of the first season. He always gave him the name Kashim. So, man, I guess I have to rewatch Full Metal Panic again.
True. Very true.
Garon, thank you. Thank you. Are they done with it? No. And I wish they did. I wish they actually did finish Invincible Victory. It's probably going to be called Victory or something. Just to match the naming convention. Because they're going to have to do a lot of catch up with Sigma. I really hope they actually do finish Full Metal Panic when it comes to the anime. The book's already done. They already have the foundation. They can always just expedite the process, but I guess it's just more of like a financial thing. And it doesn't help that KyoAni's also still kind of recovering. So, I guess if the winds of change do blow in the right direction, there may be a chance. But until then, we just gotta remain hopeful.
We'll see. On that note, I think I'm gonna hop off now. Did you do your Gundam Battle Operation 2 dailies, by the way? Blue?
Not yet. I might do that off stream, or I might do that on stream and then.
If you wanna tag team, please do let me know.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm actually hit you up.
Alright. On that note, I'm gonna grab a quick shower. Remember, guys, Mecha is the genre of love, as we saw in G Gundam, as we've seen in love triangles of Macross, and as we've seen in plenty of Gundam and other anime. Hell, even in Darling in the Franxx, there was romance. Mecha is the genre of love. Spread the love. Spread the gospel. In the name of Jesus Yamato, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let me stop. Also, I still have to say this. Fuck Harmony Gold.
Yep. Fuck Harmony Gold.
I will never,
Ever.
ever.
You
know what, dude? We should have honestly had Fuck Harmony Gold just plastered on the fucking screen this entire time. That's what we should have done.
Yeah, we should have. We should have. Well, I might actually put it on like as a thumbnail, so we could encapsulate that. Because I think when I was away and you were just going off, that was definitely Fuck Harmony Gold energy right there. So fuck Harmony Gold for ruining everything for Mecha in the West. We hope we can bolster right past that somehow, something, some way. If we can get Macross out of their hands and their scummy business partners too, Caliber Wings. Yeah,
It's a great day for Mecha.
yeah, it would be a glorious day. The Lord has finally stepped into the world. All conflict is ended. Peace is restored. That's the day when Harmony Gold finally relinquishes Macross.
We'll have issues with police brutality fixed before fucking Harmony Gold releases Rat Macross.
Yeah.
Racism will be dead before then.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, y'all stay safe, fellas. I'll see you guys around.
All right.
Fuck
So,
Harmony Gold.
yep, fuck Harmony Gold. When's GBO 2 in how many minutes? I will restart the stream relatively soon. But all in all, it shouldn't be too long. I just need to set things up and we'll be going from there. But I will send you off with a nice little outro theme for debriefing. If I could just find it right away. Because the LRSSG, I might have to retire that after a while. Just go for something a little bit more somber. But yeah, Mecha's not gonna die. Mecha ain't dead. It's just people that spout that have a little bit too much influence would convince people that aren't really educated in the genre and just lead them down the wrong path. And like Dento said, give it a chance. There's something for everybody. There's something for everybody. Especially when it comes to Mecha. Because, let's be real, let's be real. Man, I forgot what I was going to say now. But, I guess, I was just shorting it. Try before you buy. If you're really, honestly, on the fence within the genre itself, just talk to people. We're very welcoming. We just have a really big problem when people just talk more shit than they know. So, just be prepared for that in particular. But, most importantly, just come with an open mind. If you're interested in like a specific genre, like I said, there's always something for you. And if you can really stomach like classic animations, there are really good essential watches that you can spend some time with. Most importantly, Votom's Ideon, Mazinger, Mazin Kaiser. Mecha's a labor of love. Simple as that. If it's done without care, without any kind of proper world building that tries to ride on the mechs itself, it's already failed at doing a job that has been done for years. But that doesn't mean every mecha can pull that off. It's just the ones that do pull it off are much more established. But on that note, hope y'all enjoy the stream. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. Mecha is love. So I'm just gonna restart the stream real quick, and we'll be right back to it with GTO 2 dailies, maybe a little bit of VXVS, and actually streaming some Sea Destiny too. So, be right back.